Hey, and welcome to another episode of you watching me cook myself dinner. Normally we do this live on Facebook, but live broadcasting shit on Facebook ain't working tonight, so here we are on Instagram. And apparently I don't have enough karma something or others to do the, I don't know, Reddit pan thing. So anyway, doesn't matter. Tonight we're making a Tuscan shrimp dish, which is basically shrimp and Tuscan, which I don't really know what that means, but it probably has something to do with the fact that it contains, what do you call that stuff? Spinach and tomato. Anyway, this is real simple. It should only take 20 minutes or less, and then after I cook it, I'm gonna go over there and watch Happy Gilmore and have another cocktail. So let's get started here real quick. First things first, we're doing cocktails, and today we are back to martinis, where martini is defined as vodka mixed with olive juice. If you had noticed, we haven't been using any of these olive juice based cocktails for a while because we had a little bit of a mishap with the olive juice and I had to get more, you know, that's a thing. All right, so for luck tonight, we're using my UCSD, University of California, San Diego, shot glass that I bought when I was a freshman there in 1998 using excess meal points. That's how that worked. All right, simple cocktail here, bunch of vodka. 3 shots I think is probably good. Kind of bummed that we can't do this on Facebook like we usually do. I don't know, maybe this will open things up to a new audience of Instagram people. Yes, I don't know. I don't really know how this stuff works as far as audiences and whatnot. There we go. A bunch of olive juice. I put all these things on YouTube after the fact, and man, do they not get any views. I have no idea why. I don't know how to get views. It's a thing, or it's not a thing. It's what it is. Ugh. The prep work tonight's real simple. I gotta cut these tomatoes up here. I got some, let's call them grape tomatoes, nice and washed. I'm gonna cut them kind of diagonally so that they can be fancy rather than cutting them just in half like, you know, some people do. I mean, mixing is kind of superfluous if you think about it. This is literally just vodka. It's just vodka and a little bit of olive juice. Like, you could stir, really. You don't need to shake, but you know, shaken is a weaker cocktail. That's why James Bond always had his cocktail shaken, not stirred. He wanted it weak so he could, you know, not have whiskey dick or something. I don't know what his deal was. Okay, so first of all, we gotta try the cocktail. Yep, that is vodka with olive juice in it. All right, on to the prep work. I hope you're enjoying tonight's music. It's different than last time and other times, and I turned the music up a little bit to make it a little more on the forefront. Wow, this knife needs to be sharpened. That sucks. But yeah, it's kind of a funky jam, right? It's good stuff. I like it. Man, this knife is really ready to get sharpened. I even lapped it and everything today. Kind of a bummer. As far as other changes for tonight's program, let me reorient the sizzle mic. Yeah, gotta make sure you're getting that sizzle. Sizzle. Yeah, that's right, I have a mic just for the sizzle. No, while this is all doing this, let me heat this up. Kind of a medium heat. So the game plan's real simple. First things first, I'm going to kind of get some garlic going with some butter and a little bit of oil in the pan. Simple, right? Heat that up. Once that's at temperature, we're gonna drop the shrimp in. Just give them a minute or two on each side. We don't really need to cook them all the way through. We'll kind of do that later, but you know, we want to give them a little bit of texture on the outside. Pretty straightforward. And after that, we'll pull the shrimp out because we don't want to overcook them and turn them into rubber because that tastes like shit. This tomato looks like shit. Let's see here. Pull the shrimp out. I'll throw in these tomatoes here, brown them up a little bit, except without the browning. And then we'll drop in the spinach and let that kind of reduce a whole lot because that's what spinach does when it gets heated. And add some cream, add some Parmesan, let that kind of simmer a bit, get the flavors all kind of, you know, doing their thing together. And yeah, once that's kind of all married up and flavored and reduced a little bit, you know, we want to kind of pull some of that moisture out that's going to come from the spinach and then also from the tomatoes and the cream and everything. We want to reduce it a bit so it's a little thicker. We don't want a soup. That would be kind of shitty. Anyway, so we do that, and then we'll toss in our pasta zero, fake pasta, made out of yams or beans or something Japanese. That's all I really do. Something Japanese. Okay, just kind of cut up this garlic, and then our prep is going to be kind of done. How much garlic? 3 cloves. How much tomatoes? I don't know. I think there was like a couple handfuls. Probably a pound of shrimp. Probably should have used more pasta zero. Only used 1 package, which is half a pound. Probably this deserved a full pound, given the fact that I'm putting a full pound of shrimp in. Okay, garlic's ready to do whatever garlic does. All right, how's our pan? It's got some heat, a little bit of heat. Just a little bit of oil. Drink some cocktail. And some butter. So once that oil's got a shine on it, I'm gonna drop some butter in there. Let's call it 2 tablespoons, I guess, give or take. And let's call it that much. That's a funky jam, right? I like it. I like it a lot. Just gonna melt that down. Wipe my hands on something. You hear the sizzle? It's the best part of cooking things. The sounds. I think more people watch stuff if you put those hashtags in there. Like, what's the one for the sound things? Like ASR or something? AMSR? I don't know. People who need to hear the sound of stuff. Yeah. A little bit more heat. I can't touch the pan because it's cast iron. I will burn myself. So, just put the things around there. Now, why do we use oil and butter? Well, the oil keeps the butter from browning and burning. And we don't want browned or burnt butter. Actually, it might brown still, but it won't burn, really. That's kind of the idea. Just let that sizzle. I'm going to stand here and drink. All right, that butter is melted. Really wish I had a multiple camera sort of setup here. Kind of see what's going on. This is going to look really pretty with the green and the red and the green and the red and the white, red, white, and green. It's going to be like the Mexican flag, except in a pan, and the other flags too. Who else is green, white, and red? Italy? Italy, green, white, and red? It wouldn't surprise me. Now, I don't want to cook my garlic because that's not really what we're doing. What I'm trying to do is get the garlic to release its oils into the oil and butter that's in there. And that's it. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to call that ready to go. Here's my shrimp, previously frozen, currently defrosting. Lay that in there. And like I said, we're not going to cook these all the way through. It's just going to be a minute or so on each side. Fantastic. All right, so I know someone's thinking it. What's the right thing to do while you're waiting for the shrimp? And the answer is to enjoy your cocktail. That's great. So really what I'm going to do here is just kind of look for a good amount of pink on the one side, downside, if you will. And I need a bowl. Get that ready to hold my shrimp when I pull it out. It smells shrimpy and garlicky, but also shrimpy. So let's be honest, when was the last time you watched Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, for that matter? I watched Billy Madison a couple weeks back, Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really land like it did when I was in my late teens and early 20s, or really my late teens or mid-teens even when that came out. It's just not as funny. Maybe I'm just in a different stage of life now, being more than twice as old as I was then. Anyway, I hope Happy Gilmore lands, and I find it funny. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Shooter McGavin stuff, and also, of course, the Bob Barker throwback, and I don't know, or cameo, and I don't even know, do people even know who Bob Barker is anymore? Is he one host removed or two hosts removed from being the host of The Price is Right? Right, because it was Bob Barker, and then did it go straight to Drew Carey, or was there some guy in between? I thought there was some guy in between. I can't remember. All right, I'm flipping these shrimp because that's what needs to happen right now. They've got a nice little color on one side, and they're pretty translucent on the other. This one will participate. There we go. Quick and easy. Seriously, this is gonna be like a 15-minute show. The last show was like 45 minutes, and the one before that, oh my God, an hour and 20 minutes, because I had to make all those stupid appetizers. Fuck, man. No more cooking 6 dishes as a cooking show thing on Saturday nights, so I'm just trying to have a little fun. Also, you know, COVID blows, and I probably wouldn't be doing this were it not for the fact that COVID blows and I can't play music anywhere. So there you go, cooking show. Yeah. I think the key is really making this as low effort as possible. That's what you do. All right, how's this looking? Okay, it's okay. Almost ready. Give it another minute. Want to see me dance? I can do a little dance. Lean back while dancing. Yeah, that's how you know it's good. What do? You're watching me on a Saturday night. You could be watching Billy Madison, or you could be watching Happy Gilmore. I'm sure both of them are on streaming somewhere. Also, great announcement. I'm really happy to announce Rick and Morty won an Emmy for their show. So good for them. I love that show. Those guys do a good job. It's hilarious. If you don't watch Rick and Morty, you should watch Rick and Morty. However, just be cognizant of the fact that people who watch Rick and Morty, like myself, who generally find it really funny and enjoy it, tend to enjoy it more because they think that a lot of the jokes are difficult to get, but they get them. Like, wow, that's a really kind of obscure kind of joke, but I get it, therefore I'm smart. But actually, everybody gets the jokes. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Which kind of leads into the whole "you're not special" thing, which is Rick's kind of mantra, if you will. Nothing is special. All right, shrimp's coming out of the pan. So now the pan's got, you know, oil, butter, garlic, shrimp juice. That's a thing. Let's call that a thing. Yes, why not? All right. Set that aside for a little while. Mix up the stuff. All right, now we're going in with the tomatoes. Yeah. So if you're interested in French cooking, having all your shit together before you start putting things in pans is called mise en place, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but that doesn't matter. It basically just means have all your shit together before you start cooking. And by the way, that makes life so much easier because you can sit around and drink while things are just on heat. Yeah. I think I'd kind of rather have a glass of wine, to be honest, but the problem with solo drinking wine is you either gotta do the whole bottle or you're gonna waste a lot. That kind of sucks. Yeah. I don't know. All right, let's move these tomatoes around, get them some color on different sides. I'm gonna let these kind of go for a little bit because I do want to break them down quite a bit before we start assembling the rest of the stuff in the pan. The spinach is going to go really quick. Spinach just kind of like into nothing really quick there over the heat. But the tomatoes, they need a little time. It's that hard skin, you know. It takes a while to get through to them. Are you enjoying the sizzle? Feel free to comment and stuff, or, I don't know, put emoji things. I can't see them from here. The camera's actually pretty far away from me. But, you know, hey, maybe I'll read it later. Maybe I'll respond to you later. Yeah, why not? That's how we stay connected in our modern society. By allowing time shifting of our communications. Kind of like DVRs allowed time shifting of television, social media allows time shifting of our relationships, if you will. Even our peripheral relationships with people we've maybe met once or twice and don't really know very well, or people we've maybe seen and don't really know. Like, do you have any rules with your social media about like people you work with? I knew this one guy, he had a not while I currently work with you rule for connecting with people on social media. I can respect that. On the other hand, you know, some people you work with are kind of friends in addition to your coworkers. I don't think there's anything wrong with connecting with them at the time. But you know, when you want to go on your racist rants or whatever, it might not be too great. They might share that with somebody. Or you could also just not be racist. That's a good idea. I like that one. Or sexist or homophobic or whatever. So what I don't like about this dish, I didn't come up with this recipe. All right. What I don't like, the pan's developing a bunch of fond. Fond is like all the sticky shit that sticks to the bottom of the pan. Unfortunately, I have nothing to deglaze the pan with in this recipe. Like, maybe some white wine would be good, or some kind of chicken broth or something, just to kind of, you know, get the sticky bits off. All right, I'm gonna call these tomatoes soft enough, and in with the spinach, pre-washed, ready to go. Now, if you want to be super fancy, and you have a lot of free time, neither of which is the case here, you can take your spinach and actually cut off these little stems of shit. You don't really need or want the stems. Fancy restaurants will do that for you because it's a really laborious, time-consuming process. All right, now I'm going to move this around and make sure lots of leaves get lots of exposure to heat and fat, since there's olive oil and butter in here, quite a bit of it. You know, this is funny, we did spinach last week too, right? With the bechamel sauce episode and the cream spinach. That was freaking delicious, by the way. Oh my God. Earlier this week, as one of my regular whatever meals for the week, I made a, let's call it hamburger helper, which was, I took that bechamel again and I did like the mac and cheese again, except I added a bunch of ground beef to it. And yeah, that was like adding hamburger helper. I seasoned the ground beef with like some cumin and salt and pepper and paprika and other things, you know, whatever. And it was great. And it was like hamburger helper, like I said, but made with that creamy sauce and all the cheese. Holy shit, that was good. Sharp white cheddar on that. Wow. I certainly did enjoy that. Man, we're ripping through this. Okay, almost done with the spinach reducing, as it does. We've blistered our tomatoes. What else do we have to add? Cheese and cream. Okay. I think we can do that. Yeah, this is reduced down enough. How much spinach was that? I don't know, let's call it half of a little package. So a little package is 5 ounces or so, so 2.5 ounces. Not very much, really. All right, in with some cream. This is, of course, heavy cream. Like, why would you use any other type of cream? Like cream? Doesn't even make sense. And let's call it a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. That's great. Mix that all up in there. And I want to actually raise the heat a bit because I want this to kind of simmer and reduce. Because right now it's a soup, and that's fucking gross. So we don't want that. No soup. Now is also probably a good time to do a little SMP. So here we come with the pea. Pepper in there. or a lot of pepper in there. I like pepper. Pepper is great. And salt. Today, let's do the Himalayan salt, because it's right there. Now, I've noticed the Himalayan salt doesn't really have the saltiness that sea salt does. Have you ever noticed that? I don't know why that is. Okay, turn that down a little bit. We got a good simmer going on here. All right, so I'm gonna let that kind of just evaporate a bit before I add in the shrimp, and then we're pretty close to done. This is an easy meal, like super easy. Yeah. Hey, say something in the comments, like hey, or hi, or sup, or ASL, or whatever people leave in comments. Looks great. Tastes great. Move this around. There we go. It's great to see all this shit coming off, all that steam, all that moisture evaporating. So we don't want that. I'm gonna eat a liquid for dinner tonight. You know why I named this show "You Watching Me Cook Myself Dinner"? Because it is literally you watching me cook myself dinner. I have a very literal sense of humor in that. Yeah, so let me clean this up a little bit while we're here. So the next thing we're going to toss in is, of course, going to be our shrimp. And then this stuff here, this is pasta zero. I'm just going to show it to you real quick. Give you a little look. See that? So it looks like spaghetti, doesn't it? Guess what? It's not spaghetti. I know, right? It's actually made out of a yam or something. And you really need to rinse this stuff before you cook with it, because it's got this like salmon-y kind of smell. I don't know what the deal is with that or why. It doesn't make sense that a vegetable would have a salmon-y kind of smell, but it does. Yeah, you really want to give it a good rinse, otherwise it smells funny. Anyway, it tastes kind of weird too. It doesn't quite have the toothfeel that a regular spaghetti or other pasta would. And that doesn't fucking matter. All right, this is getting thicker, which is great. So I think it's about time. We're gonna toss our shrimp back in there. Oh, fuck. Maybe I should watch Forrest Gump. I mean, the guy who wrote the novel died this week. Kind of a bummer. He was quoted as saying, you know, in an author's life, you know, they're lucky to write one good novel. And he did. He wrote one good novel. A lot of his stuff was like biographies or something like that. Didn't write a lot of novels in the first place. And Forrest Gump, the novel, was not exactly popular until the movie came out, as it turns out, as we all kind of know. But that's okay. Yeah, it's just kind of gurgling. That's what it does. Simmering, gurgling. Damn, it's hard. All right. I should probably taste this, which is what I'm going to do. Let me get a spoon here. I love these little spoons. So we bought this silverware set at IKEA, or I did, God, 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And it came with these little mini spoons, and it's like, what the fuck do you use these little mini spoons for? And the answer is pretty much nothing, except they're great for tasting stuff. So, you know, you're in the kitchen and you taste something. Holy crap, that's good. I didn't expect it to be that good, to be honest. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm stoked. I'm also not going to add any salt or pepper or anything else. That's like ready to go, as it is. We do need to reduce it a little bit more though. Kind of thicken up that sauce so that it has a little bit more of an adhesive property to the pseudo noodles that we're going to be sticking in here. But wow, that really turned out much better than I expected. I was expecting it to be kind of bland, like, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, tomatoes and spinach, with salt and pepper and cream, okay, great. I think what's making it really nice is the Parmesan that's in there. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It has there's some umami flavor in there, and I think that's coming from the aged cheese, the Parmesan. Wow, that's really good. You should try this. This was like super simple. You know, and you could probably do it in less time. Maybe use less cream or something, and not need to reduce it. Or maybe you're okay with a thinner sauce. I'm not okay with a thinner sauce. I kind of want a thicker sauce. So I'm gonna take my time and let that sauce thicken. Or if you want to shortcut that, you know, you could add a thickener like flour or something like that, which I'm not going to do because it adds unnecessary carbohydrates. And, you know, that gives you diabetes. And when you get the diabetes, they cut your feet off eventually, or at least one of your feet. I think that's the thing, right? You got a diabetic foot. We don't want that. Plus, diabetes is a vascular disease that has all sorts of repercussions, like throughout your whole body in all sorts of ways. Pretty much any disease you get thereafter is worse, or less treatable, or more difficult to treat, or comes with additional complications or other kinds of bullshit because you got diabetes. So don't get diabetes. That's fucking horrible. If you have type 1 diabetes, fuck, man, that sucks. Obviously not a death sentence or anything like that. And in fact, Dextron has these nifty little devices that kind of auto-regulate your insulin, which are great. Good on them for having invented and created those things. But yeah, if you're not born with diabetes, you really gotta make sure you don't get diabetes. It's not a good one. It's not a good one. You want to talk about comorbidities, right? Diabetes. All right, that's thickening up nicely, reducing nicely, and I'm getting kind of excited to be eating it nicely. Again, while watching Happy Gilmore. Here's a fun fact for you. You know the movie Predator? I think one of the most I don't know, famous. It's not really the most famous scene, but like there's a scene in the movie Predator where Schwarzenegger and the guy whose name I can't remember, who's also super jacked, at the very beginning of the movie they like do this like arm shake thing, and they have it like sideways, right? So you get like Schwarzenegger's giant arm and like this other dude's giant arm. The other dude, black guy, I can't remember his name. Fuck, he was in Rocky. He was Apollo Creed. Anyway, that guy, that actor, he was like a super clean sort of guy. So like, you know, he wouldn't use alcohol or tobacco or whatever, right? Like nothing, like his body was a temple and like that sort of thing, aside from maybe the steroid. And it turns out on the set of Predator, Schwarzenegger was constantly had a cigar going on. That's Schwarzenegger's thing, these cigars, right? He gave one to this guy, and the guy enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, right? Cigars are very enjoyable. I'm gonna throw that out there. If you've never had a cigar, try a cigar. I mean, you don't inhale into your lungs. That's bad. But like, you know, learn how to use it and then try it out. And you might enjoy it, you know. Nicotine is bad. Nicotine is bad. It's a sharp little molecule, moves through your bloodstream, and actually causes damage to your vascular system by nicking it up as it moves through. And that's nicotine, regardless of the way that you consume nicotine, which is why a lot of people who are like smokers and things like that have higher incidences of heart disease, for example, or other vascular problems, because it literally fucks up your circulatory system. Physically. Anyway, that actor enjoyed the cigar and subsequently decided to enjoy cigars for the time, as one should. And it's been about a year since I've had a cigar. I have one sitting in the other room, ready to go. To be honest, I feel kind of guilty. Like, where do you smoke? Smoke a cigar. I don't have a house with a bunch of land, so if I were to light it up in my courtyard here, there's going to be like, I don't know, 15 people that are also going to be having that cigar with me. I don't know if that's cool. I don't know if that's cool or not. All right, this is pretty good. I'm going to throw in this pseudo-pasta. Love that word, pseudo-pasta. My cocktail's done. Kind of a bummer. To be expected, though. All right, let's mix that pseudo-pasta in with the sauce. Wow, yeah, that's nice and thick now. It brought the temperature down and kind of killed the simmer. It's all right. Oh, there's still some fond. Man, I wish this recipe had something to like pull that fond up. See, this is what happens when you follow recipes, right? Like, it's good-ish, but like could be better. For example, removing tails from the shrimp, or using something to pull the fond up, or removing the stemmy things from the shrimp, or not the shrimp, the spinach. All right, I'm just gonna let this kind of come to temperature real quick, and it's pretty much done. That pseudo-pasta actually did a good job of absorbing and picking up a lot of the stuff, juices and whatnot. All right, that's gonna come to temperature. I'm gonna get a serving plate, AKA a plate. And yeah, we're just gonna wait a minute and this is gonna be done. We're almost there. We got probably 2-minute warning on the video. 2-minute warning. But it's a real 2-minute warning, not like football, American football, where the 2-minute warning means 1 hour remaining. Did you know in the average NFL football game, there's something like 14 minutes of actual action? Right. Right. 14 minutes versus nearly 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours of gameplay. 14 minutes. What kind of athlete do you need to be to have endurance to cover 14 minutes? Even if it's 20 minutes, 20 minutes of activity? Okay, so let's say you're a world-class sprinter, right? And you do the 400, quarter mile. That's your event, right? Okay, you sprint for a quarter mile. That takes you, if you're world-class, 40 some odd seconds, high 40s. Okay, take a little break and do it again, like 20 times. That's like a normal workout. So lame. Okay, let me give this a little stir here. Yep, this is, I'm gonna call this done. Off with the heat, even though the cast iron pan will retain some heat and continue to provide heat and so forth as it does. All right, this is the tricky part. I'm just gonna use an oven mitt, I guess, like this silicone one right here. So normally when you have a pasta in a pan sort of dish, what you want to do is hold the pan at some kind of angle and then like pull your stuff out to control it. In fact, I'm gonna do that anyway. Never mind. Instead of explaining it, that's how I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we're going to pull the solid bits out with the tongs, leaving the liquid mostly in the pan. So we don't really want a ton of liquid, but we want some. We're just gonna control that. This is really hard to do with my left hand because I am right-handed and my left hand does not have the strength of my right hand. Let's try that again. Okay, here we go again. Get the solid bits out. Man, this actually kind of reminds me of a dish I had at the Crocodile Cafe, which used to be a chain in the 90s. Okay, so here we go. I got the stuff out, and then I'm just gonna add, such a pain in the ass, a little bit of sauce. Just a little bit. Okay, that's about where I want it. Okay, this looks super presentable. You know, plating's not my forte. Definitely not. Okay. because it's an Italian thing and it has Parmesan in it, we're going to add some more Parmesan on top. Nobody will fault you for having too much Parmesan. They're gonna be like, wow, that's a lot of Parmesan. Oh my God, that's so delicious. Trust me, I'm one of those people. When the Parmesan people come around at the restaurant where they have like a little, do you want some Parmesan? And they turn the little thing to like give you fresh Parmesan. I kind of feel bad because honestly, I'm like, you know, you could probably shred that entire log of Parmesan into my dish here and that would be great. But they don't do that. They give you, you know, whatever. Okay, we're done for today. Here is our meal. I don't really want to turn it too much because it has lots of liquid. Even though the liquid's kind of, can you see that? It's nice. It's green. It's red. It's you know, Tuscan. That's what green and red means. Not Christmas. Not Mexican. Not Italian per se. Tuscan. All right. Cool. I'm going to go watch an Adam Sandler movie from the 1990s and eat that, and maybe drink some more things over there in the room where that is. Oh, there's my cat. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll check you out next time. Adios.